Councillor Guthrie and Councillor Taylor, our guests, our families, our supporters, our trustees, our staff, and our partners from Adult Social Care. I think Derry's over there in the corner. Hello, Derry. So, the Westminster Society, along with two other charities, was behind the inception of Alison House in 1977, which was both pioneering and unique at the time. The Society continued to provide the service until 1999, when the two respite services operating in Westminster combined, and the Society began delivering outreach support for short breaks, and the PCT at 291 Harrow Road, don't know if anyone remembers that, provided the 24-hour service. And to make things even more confusing, after a few years of being there, they all moved back here to the building that's just currently behind us. And it was overseen by Helen Bannon, who I thought was going to be here, but hello Helen, if you're not, if you are. So it's fair to say that at the Society, things just weren't the same anymore without Alison House. And we were absolutely delighted in 2015 when the service came back to us and we directly were responsible for the service. We got to know the fantastic staff team, Marguerite and Matt, who I know are here, hello, families and guests, both old and new, and I'm looking over there at Mrs. Carter. Oh, thank you. So this afternoon, or this evening, our first speaker is Jane Reynolds, who was the first matron, and that's a sign of the times, but matron. And that was in 1977, January the 4th. And she's had 46 unbroken years working in social care, the NHS and the judiciary. And she's currently, well, she's been a JP for the last 25 years. And she's still associated with the Society, and she's a member of our fundraising committee. We'll then hear from Jill Carter, whom Alison House has been a lifeline for her and her daughter Natalie, who we believe is 33 years. And then 8 years before that at Bravington Road? So close to 40 years, just over 40 years. We'll also be hearing from Lynn Brooke, who's one of our long-standing trustees, and who also is a former user of Alison House with his daughter Jemima. And we're also going to be hearing from Royston and Matt, who's going to talk about being a guest at Alison House. So today we'll be ending our celebrations with the unveiling of an early portrait of Alison Tennant, who was the chair of the Society in 1977, and she was also a Westminster councillor, and she steered the service to its existence, and she also gave it its name. So before I hand over to Jane Reynolds, I want to say once again on behalf of the Westminster Society, welcome, and it's a pleasure to see you. And how many, and all of you that are here today. Thank you.
I simply can't tell you how glad I am to be here today, so many years after I arrived in London. I was quite happily living in the country, running a care home there, and then I was persuaded to move up to London to set up Alison House. So my very large Basset hound, who some people who are here today will remember. Do you remember Emily, the Basset hound? Some people will remember Emily. She and I moved up and we lived in a very big house in Abercorn Place. The dog and I lived there on our own, right at the top of the building. It was pretty scary. But a friend of mine had given me his police whistle, which I could blow if there was a burglar. I'm not sure how much use that would have been. But then we were ready to open the home on the 4th of January 1977, and two of the original staff are here today, Tim and Graham. And we've kept in touch ever since. We've kept in touch with some of the others. And what a year it was, that first year after we opened. My diary tells me that I showed round over 1,000 people in the course of that year, that we had people coming to stay from all over London and further afield, many people coming to stay again and again and again. It It was quite scary to be setting up the first ever short stay home in London. It was also quite scary that the home was being set up by 3 charities working together: the Spastic Society, the Westminster Society, and the Catholic Handicapped Children's Fellowship, Westminster Diocese. Before I left Sussex, people said to me, "Oh, you'll be back within the year. 3 charities will never manage to work happily together. They'll fall out. The whole thing will fizzle out." Well, it didn't fizzle out. It went from strength to strength, and it is a very great privilege to have been associated with its first 4 years, and I'm delighted that I'm still here all those years later to greet everybody today, even though I probably look a bit different from the early photographs of me which I've dredged up to show to anybody who wasn't too sure whether they do remember me or not. Thank you for inviting me. Well done to everybody who's kept things going and changing and growing so magnificently since then. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now I'm going to hand you over to Mrs. Carter, who's going to say a few words.
Hi everybody. As Gabby said, Natalie's been with the Society and Alison House for 43 years. A lot have changed over 43 years. Some for the better, some not for the better, but now it's for the better. And it's my lifeline. If I didn't have Alison House, I would have no normality. It's time so me and my husband can go and socialise, go on holiday, but that's what people don't realise, that when you've got a person with a disability, you can't lead a normal life. It's 2 lives, your life and their life. So I put Natalie in for a break from me, because she needs a break as much as I need a break. So carry on the good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to hand you over to Lynn Brooke, who's the long-standing trustee of the Society. Crossing the baton.
My daughter, Jemima, is now 46, and I suppose we used Alison House, and Jane looked after Jemima, and I can remember all those times with gratitude. Just a brief word about Alison Tennant. She was a sort of firebrand, really, but a quiet firebrand. She was a revolutionary. And I thought that you all had to march with banners and bang drums and all the rest of it, and she said no, we work in partnership. And of course I thought she was wrong, but actually she was right and I was wrong, and that is part of the success of the Society, is that it does work in partnership with not only other charities but with the authorities. But the authorities are getting a bit more difficult these days, because they took us out of Alison House, and then it was the local authority that ran it, and then it was the NHS that ran it, then it was another charity that ran it, but eventually, I think it's called Karma, isn't it? It came back to the Westminster Society where it belonged, and I've just been around it today, and they really are a very great team, and Marguerite and her team of 16 are to be congratulated on what is clearly a place which is full of love, where they're providing, and Marguerite said it was a hotel service. So there are activities, there's one unplanned bed for crises, and there are 5 people, and parents go there and have coffee mornings and conversations and work in collaboration. I was thrilled to hear that they moved the CQC rating from in need of improvement to good. And I think one of the hallmarks of the Society, and being a trustee for so long, is we seem to have a knack to, or fortunate enough, to have the right people at the right time. And Jane was just one such person. and became a director of the society at a time when there were fundamental changes going on, and positioned the society to be able to be there to take the people from hospital and give them time and place to live, and above all to give them respect and to treat the parents as central. So it's all very person-centered. So from the trustee body, you have innovation, like from Alison Tennant, and then you have the people who were paid members of the society who actually were able to implement the vision and give it shape, and Alison House is one such vital example of that. So Jemima is now living in Haverton, Hampshire, and I quite like to go back to London because I'm fed up travelling back and down. So anyway, thank you, Jane, thank you to all the trustees who were around at the time, and thank you all the present people who are putting the service together. Marguerite's actually thrilled with the structure and with the support that she's enjoying, and I think that's the secret. You've got to put the right structure in place and give people the resources to be able to do the job that they can do. So thanks very much.
So now Matt and Royston can say some words.
Hi everyone, my name's Matt. I used to be the assistant manager over at Alison House. Royston's with me today. Right, Roy? We're thinking about a lot of happy times at Alison House together, aren't we? Yeah? Roy, what happened? Do you remember? There was a woman that came from the CQC, it was a while ago. It was the first time she'd been back since Alison House was not a nice place, was it? And remember, she came back, and what did you say to her? Do you remember?
And I told her it was a good place. All the best.
Yeah, you told her it was an absolutely fantastic place, didn't you, back then? Yeah. That was right. I think Royston was probably the one that convinced everyone on that day when she came that actually he was the most happiest he'd been when he'd stayed at Alison House. How long have you been staying at Alison House now, Roy? Quite a long now. Well, your mum's here now. How long's Royston been staying there now?
Quite a number of years, yeah.
Quite a number of years now, and that was the time, wasn't
And I
it?
think it's a great place to stay.
Yeah. Well, I know that because you never leave whenever I try to get you to leave, so.
Oh, yeah.
But that's, yeah. I think that you were the one convinced her that actually, when the Westminster Society had taken Alison House back, they'd really turned it around.
Because if it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be for other disabled people.
That's right, mate. Trailblazer as always, Royston. But yeah, I'll finish off with saying that I just think that since the Westminster Society took over the leadership of Alison House, it has been such a better place to work there. When I used to work with Marguerite, it's been an absolute thrill working with these guys. And yeah, long may it continue, I feel. Don't you think, Roy? All right, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much. There's nothing better than to hear from someone who actually experiences and lives in the centre, so thank you very much. And now to celebrate, finally, we're going to cut the cake, which is over here. No one can see it. So who'd like to cut the cake? Would you guys like to do it? Royston? Matt, would you like to cut the cake?
Go on then. Come on, mate. Come forward, mate. Put it on your tray.
Have we a knife?
A knife there underneath it.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, you'll get a photo of this.
Come on, see the cake. Yeah. Marguerite. Marguerite's going to cut the cake with you, Roy, okay?
Marguerite? Yes.
There you go.
Marguerite's our fantastic manager at Alison House. We're going to cut the cake.
Now I have.
Two. So the knife is hovering over the cake. It's now about to slice into. There you go. give way and we'll make sure it's distributed fairly. It looks like a beautiful cake. While we're doing that, should we go and unveil the portrait of Alison House, which is in the building behind us?
No. Thank you. It's very nice of you to ask, but no. Shouldn't that be somebody like Virginia?
Yeah, he's there, look.
You right?